Greetings and salutations. This is kind of a continuation thought of kind of a player experience, just to bring light. That's the only way we can, as a community, I think, get things fixed or get things polished and improved upon. Because if I just post something on the forums, and I don't really flush out the idea or get people to co-sign on the idea. It just gets lost with the other bazillion posts that people do. They're like, yeah, it's a good idea, and then it's immediately digested, and then the thought is lost forever. And in the development cycle, and part of the issue is they keep coming out with dungeons, and they're like one-hit wonders. And it's they have done a good job. Don't get me wrong. Conan is by far one of my favorite games. There's a reason why I have close to 1,000 hours of playtime, and in that, by saying that, it also means that I understand the game very well. The mechanics, the depth of the play. And you come to certain realizations, and I have other challenges, like me traveling like I do, and having ping issues and being forced to start on other servers because I'm not really centrally located. You get to experience other cultures and how they play the game. And so, I had some friends. I bought some friends some copy of the games during this anniversary sale, and they couldn't play for whatever reason. My normal servers are shut down due to nefarious actions, I believe, but I can't prove it. I don't know, but it's my thought process. And so I'm playing on a no conflict, and when you go into another game with another rule set, you start to just immediately see what's broken, what the problem is. And so this is an example right here, and I'm going to kind of Barney this down. So I'm on a no conflict, and you see all these great structures, right? You're like, oh wow, because if on a PvP server, it's brutal, and this stuff just gets wrecked all the time. And you won't see structures like this. You won't see, he's got his tower and there's windows everywhere. You won't see any of this, and because it'll be gone in a week. You don't see somebody put their heart and soul into something, and if they do, it's gone. I also don't see buildings with windows, right? Because you can loot through windows, but you kind of realize, and so I like this aspect to see things fleshed out. But then you see stuff like this, and you're like, okay, well, I can hear the Jumanji music. Okay, but then you see the palisades and the guards, and you're like, wait a minute, there is no building damage. So why does this person not understand that all of this doesn't have a purpose? Like, he wasted all of this time dressing all these people out and putting palisades when nobody can do anything to his building anyways. And that's the piece of this. And he's done up all the animals. Dumped a tremendous amount of time, but they're training all the thralls and getting them outfits. But I don't quite get it. And so part of it is the game. The server needs to be polished a little bit to where this actually has function. And I think the way to do that, to where there's a reason to put guards outside your base, and I don't think the answer is to make it to where somebody can go and tear down his building. I think the answer is 24-hour PvP on a conflict server. And so the reason to have the guards is so he has his safe haven at his base. But with the way that it's set up, there's no purpose in having those guards except for that little tiny window, and it needs to be polished. It doesn't make any sense. And another piece to this is like this fish trap out here in the open. this should just be community. Anybody else should be able to loot this. And if he doesn't want it looted, then it needs to be in a building. And like this fire pit over here, this is just a couple sticks and some rocks. This needs to be able to be looted by everybody. So if some newbie comes by here and he's starving to death, he should be able to put some shredded meat or something and then cook it. Yes, it belongs to this individual, but they've got everything. What they've done is they've kind of taken the easy way out, and they've cloned the PvE server and then just changed one aspect. They've just added the player versus player from 5 to 11 and didn't bother to change anything else across the spectrum, instead of polishing and tuning the server settings to where they actually have validity. And that's why you see so few player versus conflict. That's why it's almost non-existent. Like, there's just a handful of servers, and the vast majority is PvP. And that leads into a whole other series of problems. Why I can, realistically, I like the balance of being able to PvP, but I would like to be able to skip the toxicity that comes with it. And if they could polish these and get the server settings dialed in to where it was 24-hour PvP, and that's way, somebody puts a bunch of guards around their base to keep from getting griefed, that gives it reason, and if all of these were lootable, they could, it gives that tension, it gives that excitement, the hunt. But on the same token, there's that degree of it keeping it from getting out of control. This really needs to be revisited. I know it's never going to be. Funcom's never going to revisit this. I mean, they have their focus and their they just want to make some dungeons and then fire and forget. And I know they've gone back and tried to improve the stability, and the game is much better today than it was 6 months ago. But all the stuff I talk about does not require any development of assets, 3D models. It is just common sense, practical. People could sit around who actually play the game, could sit around the table and discuss what kind of environment they want to create, and it would improve the experience. Anyways, I think that's enough for this video. This is my third video in this part, and you could skip the other two, or you can watch the other one, and maybe you'll agree or disagree. But if you agree with me, chime in. Tell me what you think. I'm okay with criticism. You can tell me I'm a retard. I'm totally okay with it. Anyways, that's the end of this video.